Schoonmaker, and he's playing with Jim Maloney. Steve is a poet. He's from Kasilof. Jim is from Homer. Jim's going to play the hand pan, excuse me. Steve's a 43-year Alaskan commercial fisherman, along with many other outdoor jobs in the last 50 years in Alaska. He's got upcoming performances at Salmon Fest, Salmon Jam in Cordova, and he's performed here for 7 years at the Folk Festival. And he's performed at every Salmon Fest in Nilja. Yeah. He's also performed for 17 years straight at the Fisher Poets Gathering in Astoria, Oregon. And please welcome Steve Schoonmaker.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this auditorium and the audience here. It's so quiet and the sound people are so wonderful. I just want to mention that we've got a couple poems to do, and like you said, my good friend Jim Maloney, I'm blessed with his accompaniment. It's another dimension to my poetry. We got two to share with you. And I'll say that first. This first one is called Snowflake. And, you know, inclusion is the essential truth of creation. Nature is inclusive. It's called Snowflake. First, I was a snowflake. Then I was a glacier. But then I was a stone. A scale, a fin, then a bone. On a wild, wet stone, I shone, leaking down from the peaks when I was the creeks, rushing, flushing out with the silt, pushing banks to the hilt, partially built from those snowflakes, man. Rocks ground to sand into the sediment bands of the bluffs, so slumped to the sea. Yeah, that was me. Grounding, pounding nutrients free from the earth when I was the surf rolling in. Oxygen, nitrogen, and calcium, I was there. When life begun, so unselfish. I was there. Those tiny shellfish, feeding the salmon coming back in the night. I was their fat, depleting. Completing the cycles of snowflakes falling. Calling into dangers yawning with the smells of spawning. Where the ancestors mauled. And then I was a gull. I was salmon's torn flesh, moisture's lull, disguised condensation where I was cloud's demonstration of the selfless, flowering, visibly towering to that moment's empowering at the threshold of new falling snowflakes. First I was a snowflake, then I was a glacier, and then I was a stone. Thank you. This next one's a little longer. I just wrote it a little while ago. And I was struck by, all my life, I've lived most of my life in Alaska, and I've always been an outdoors person. I've always been struck by the intelligence of nature, the sheer intelligence. I mean, in the plants, in the animals, in the insects, and in space, the intelligence of space. The fact that life exists in this manner. The poem's called 8 Minutes Away. And the reason I named it that is, according to physics, it takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds at the speed of light. It takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds for the sunlight leaving the sun to reach Earth. 8 minutes. It's called 8 minutes away. What leaves for the night arrives for the day. Silhouetting horizons as skylines take shape, as radiation grows at light speed's pace. 8 minutes away from warming my face. Sun's fusion glows in the vastness of space. Dawn's continuity of perpetual grace. Dawn, once again, for all life to embrace. To the rays of its sunshine, while the conscious plants bend. To the breeze of its temperatures, condensation extends. To atmosphere's vapor, condensation extends. Prisms to rainbows, so rains come again. Partner with sky, so rivers can bend. So never the end of perpetual grace. So it's dawn once again, for all life to embrace. Oh, but all the dawn's taken to the calendar's sum, taken for granted, like the rise of the sun. Unnoticed in distractions, unconsciously done. Bent to the stride of the routinely run, racing the clock with the arc of the sun. Bent to a mind in a cage wheels roll. Bent to a smartphone's bent scrolling glow. With Wi-Fi transmitted through headphone plugged holes. Deafened by playlists, soundtracking our roles. Outside of outside when our moments become sent out in a selfie, backlit by the sun. To a virtual world at the speed of a thumb. Devices in focus, planetarily numb. Been over in shadows, casting light from the sun. Is a visual connection of where we come from. A connection transmitted from the center of the sun. Taking thousands of years till its surface succumbs to hydrogen fusion, as it becomes magnetic confusions exploding in place, flaring reactions at light speed's pace. Over 4 billion years of perpetual grace, just 8 minutes away from warming my face. Dawn's continuity of perpetual grace. Dawn, once again, for my life to embrace. As my nerves transmit neurons transmitting grace. For solar eruptions to snaps in my brain. Transmitting the signals my skin has obtained. Making melatonin, secreting through veins, secreting endorphins with fresh dopamines. Chemically connected as a transmitting means to the gentle transmissions of the sunlight's beams. Making its way through the nerves of my face, triggering my body from way out in space. A catalyst vast for all life to embrace, reacting to sunlight as a chemical base. Orbiting the source of perpetual grace, solstice and equinox at equal embrace, mutually existent in the orbit they trace. Rotating in light, tracing existence in body and life, cycling forces so galactically tight that one's as complete as the entire T when the day comes connecting the night. Ancient and silent as the stillness of nature arriving at the dawn's speed of lights. Perpetual grace. Biological alchemy's astrological base. Elemental to sources so held in a place. The self, universal, celestially embraced, and to the internally, like an extraterrestrial umbilical, just too bright to see. Its cord and the forms of its rays reaching me, one with the sunlight when I'm consciously aware of the source of before to be, casting my shadows mimicking me, growing and shrinking, then ceasing to be. dissolved into oneness, which fades into place. What leaves for the night arrives for the day. What leaves for the night arrives for the day. Silhouetting horizons as skylines take shape. As radiation grows at light speed's pace. It's just 8 minutes away from more on my face. Dawn's continuity of perpetual grace. Dawn once again, and in every case. Dawn once again for all life to embrace. You know, intelligence is the essential nature of creation. So that's my point. Thank you guys very much.
That was Steve Schoonmaker.